Jaws live, baby. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey, all right, here we are, live and ready. Happy Thursday night. All right, we got a big house going on here, and by the looks of it, we got the He-Man Women Haters Club going on here tonight as well. Yeah. Wait a second, we got one more to add. That's right, we need more testosterone. There we go. Hooper himself joining us. Thank you.
The original Hooper.
Yeah, real deal.
Hooper since 1960, baby.
Well, hello and welcome. We want to welcome everyone back for another episode, another live Thursday night show. And we've got a great group of guests joining us tonight. Tonight we have the actors of the Shark is Broken production out of Kansas City, Missouri, joining us this evening. So nice. Thank you. Round of applause for you guys for hopping on tonight, spending a little time with us. I'm sure that your free time is probably not so free right now as you guys gear up, considering that we're just about there. Am I right?
Yeah.
Very cool. So I want to go around and just introduce everyone real quick, and I'll just start on the top row, work my way down. We have Todd and Shane, who happen to be father and son, working on the show. Right? You guys would introduce yourself and you tell us what roles you're playing.
Yeah, my name's Todd Snocky, and I'm the director of The Shark is Broken at the Metropolitan Ensemble Theater.
And I'm Dane Snocky, and I play our good friend Richard Dreyfuss in The Shark is Broken.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Mr. DeRock, how about you?
Yes, sir. I'm Davis D-Rock, and I'm playing Roy Scheider.
Very cool. And Alex?
I'm Alex Paxton. I'm the dramaturge for the production. So,
very cool. And finally, Michael.
I'm Michael Dragan, and I am playing Robert Shaw in this production.
Very, very cool. Awesome. So, first off, let's talk a little bit about the show. So, when is the show taking place, and how many dates are you guys playing? Can you give us a little background?
Yeah, we'll be performing. Our opening is August 13th, and we'll perform through August 23rd. We have 10 performances during that time frame.
Very cool. Very cool.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Yep. Tickets are available, and at the end of the show, we will be putting the website to get the tickets on live across the pages. So you guys at home are interested in checking them out, we'll make sure that the link's up there for you to see. So awesome. So can we get a little bit of background on you guys? Does everyone have an acting background? I think I heard that someone's a teacher as well. Am I right by saying that?
Yeah. Couple of us. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. So we have a room full of educators. That's pretty cool. I'm a third grade teacher myself, so yeah, been doing that for quite a while. So, give us some of your background, Michael. Let's hear from you. What is your background? What do you teach, and what's your tie-in with the acting?
So I've been involved in acting and music ever since I was 5 years old, and so I've done a lot of work in productions throughout my whole life. My career path led me to being a music teacher. So I'm actually a band director at a middle school and high school here in a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri, but have the ability to continue to act in amateur and professional capacities. I've really been blessed to be able to do that while also teaching another passion of mine, music.
Very cool. Very cool. Wow. So being a music director. Wow. I see why you mainly do this then in the summer, because I know around the holidays you guys are just slammed with stuff. Yeah.
It can be challenging for sure.
All right. Davis, what about you? What's your background?
So I've never acted a day in my life. No, I'm just kidding. I started acting and filmmaking about 22 years ago in high school. Picked up a camera and started choreographing fight scenes and making sketches and stuff like that. And I would show them to my friends. They were like, "You should try out for the play." And so I did. Got a lead role and just kind of fell in love with it. Ended up moving out to Los Angeles and going to acting school out there and learning a lot of like different acting techniques, classes, stage combat, stuff like that. And eventually just came back to the Midwest and just kept on making movies and doing like fight coordination and in front of the camera acting and stunt work and stuff like that. And then directing and writing and kind of just kept with it.
So a lot on the physical end of things, huh?
Yeah. I was very heavily into martial arts, and that's what kind of got me into the acting stuff. As my dad bought a video camera to film my tournaments, and I just took that and started making movies. So, yeah.
Very cool. How about Todd and Dane? What about you guys?
I taught at the high school level for 32 years and retired a few years ago. And prior to being a theater teacher, I did a lot of acting through high school and college and right out of college. And then whenever I finished my teaching career, I found that I had the time to get back into it in a different capacity. And so I directed a production for the Metropolitan Ensemble Theater, and then I started auditioning, and I've been acting in some shows the last 3 years.
Oh, wow. Nice.
In addition to, I did pick up a gig as an interim teacher at a local high school this past year that needed somebody to fill in for a year. So I kind of split my time between education and doing theater with grown-ups.
Very nice. A little take or a little bit different viewpoint then for you, I guess. Change of pace, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, obviously, with him being my dad, I've been around it for basically, my entire life. My earliest memories are going up to the theater at at the high school that I now teach at. When shortly before he retired, actually, the two of us worked together for 3 years. We taught at the high school level together. Yeah, it was really cool. It's really cool. And so I teach theater now as well as speech and debate. And I acted all throughout high school and college. I have always really loved acting. It's just, being a teacher, it's really difficult to find time to be able to do that. And so, when this show became an opportunity, I sought out the opportunity and went, this could be a really fun thing to do.
Very cool. Very cool. So did you grow the beard for the part, or was that already there?
So, funny thing, I actually grew the beard initially for a different show that I was in my junior year of college, and I've pretty much had it as my sort of staple look since then. I've shaved it a couple of times just for different things, but it being as long as it is right now is for The Shark Is Broken. Typically, it's more of a Tony Stark length. But now it's a little longer for Hooper.
There you go.
Basically, early in the process, I said, don't cut your hair, don't cut your beard. When we get close to showtime, then we'll shape it to look like Dreyfus.
Oh, there you go.
Or you can go play Rasputin somewhere.
Alex, what about you? What draws you into the theater?
I was in tech theater back in high school. I've worked in movie theaters pretty much most of my adult life. About 10 or so years ago, I got involved with the Met at their former location just because I was looking for something to do and a little extra money. And I just haven't stopped since. So,
very nice.
Yeah,
very nice. I like the original production Joe's T-shirt there, by the way.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, I figure it's like I'm on the crew. I got to dress the part. So
Exactly right. Yeah. Very nice.
Have you guys seen the Broadway show? Any of you seen the Broadway show?
I have not.
Cool.
Was that a deliberate? I mean, you guys don't know.
Well, I had never heard of it and until I got cast in this.
Oh.
But I didn't want to base my performance on the other Roy.
Right.
So
Right.
I love watching stuff from the actual Roy Scheider and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I can get a little bit more cadence and mannerisms and stuff like that. But I didn't want to take another actor's take on it
Right.
subconsciously. So I've kind of tried to not do it until after we're done with this.
Right.
Makes sense.
Understandable. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a professional production that they did a pro shot of that has Ian Shaw in it, which I know you guys referenced that you've seen the show and enjoyed it. That pro shot was, I think, from when it was at the West End.
It's the UK and Ireland tour of the UK and Ireland.
Right. Yeah, the UK Ireland tour. And so it's got Ian Shaw in it, and of course he's great. The actor who plays Dreyfus is not Alex Brightman, who I think played the role in New York.
Right.
And
Ainsley,
kind of like
right?
say what?
His name was Ainsley, I think, who played.
Yeah.
Which is it's on a Broadway HD. You can see the entire show on Broadway HD. Right.
Yeah. Before I auditioned for the show, I saw it just because I wanted to get a sense of what the show was like. But like Davis, I have not really returned to it for the same reason. Just kind of trying to shape it off of Richard and not an impression of somebody else's impression of Richard.
Makes sense. So, question for you guys. Obviously, this is being done in several cities, and I'm always curious because I've only seen the Broadway production. I'm always curious as to see different interpretations. So, do you have a lot of creative ability to kind of hone it as your own? Do you really try and hold true to, say, the actual character in the movie? Like, what is your take? Like, I that's just something I've always wondered. Even if the same person does a show, like say, like whatever, Ian Shaw, maybe, last summer compared to when I saw it, has his approach changed at all? So, do you have creative freedom to kind of make these things your own? Do you put a little bit more of your own ideas into it? Like, how does that work?
I personally like to. Oh, sorry, Michael. Did you want to? I know. All right. I personally like to kind of look at it sometimes like a multiverse, in the sense of like, what would Roy Scheider with like Davis stuck in his body do? You know what I mean? In certain moments, obviously, there's certain things where you're like, when we're quoting things from the movie, that I personally want to like get as close to that as I can, but I also look at like we're extending the disbelief into the belief of like what we're doing there. So anything that I feel like is like an original concept or original thought or whatever, and I try and Todd likes, and if those two things go together, then I go, yeah, there's probably something to that, because again, it's me being Roy in a fictional, non-fictional setting. So when you look at the play itself, you're like, some of this might have happened, but some of it might not have. So it's already made up. So there's probably something to adding a little bit of like yourself to it.
Sure. Okay. All right.
I know for me, one thing that I did was to really make sure I read this biography of Robert Shaw, to get in and read things like the Jaws log, and getting some of that backstory in there. And yeah, using that other production as a reference, I think I might have put a little more into it than my fellow performers, simply because the person playing Robert Shaw in that production was Ian Shaw, was his son, was the author. And so while I definitely am not wanting to make a conscious effort to perform it like he did, I think it was probably a good call on my part to see what he thought of it, what he thought of his father, and what he thought of the accent even that he does, and his delivery and things like that. But it's not. I'm still definitely putting my take on it and my spin on it, but it's all informed by the different things that I've read, and yeah, seeing the author and character's son certainly definitely informed a lot of what I'm doing.
Yeah, and to bounce off of Michael's point, obviously Ian Shaw was one of the co-writers of the play, and so you have his perspective. And Richard Dreyfuss is, of course, the only of the big three here that is still actually living. And, Dreyfuss initially, when the play came out and he saw it in New York, was initially kind of critical about, the production. And so one of the things that I thought about was, how do I approach the show from the perspective of like honoring the text and honoring Ian Shaw's words, and also contextualizing it so that, I'm always on Richard's side, right? Because an actor, you always have to think of the perspective of the person that you're playing. So sometimes, an action may not read one way to a person that it does to the person that's doing it. But I just thought it was very important to make sure and honor the spirit of that actual human being.
Yeah. And I'll have to ask Roy how he thought about it when I'm no longer here.
And that's got to be a tough thing to keep in mind, because you have a duality going on there. So trying to honor or be respectful of that, yet also carry through the character, and the way it's written. So that's got to be an additional challenge to what you're already doing. So
there's another layer of duality here too, because movie audiences tend to perceive the actors they watch on screen as being very similar to the characters that they're playing. Mm-hmm. But that's not necessarily always the case. I know that Michael has, specifically had to deal with that some, because the Robert Shaw that you see in interviews is not exactly like Quint. And yet the audience, your lay person who maybe hasn't watched the Dick Cavett show with Robert Shaw on it, expects to see Quint. But he's only Quint part of the time in the show. He's Robert Shaw basically all the time in the show. So finding a way to bridge that gap for the audience so they accept what they're seeing is one of the things that we've talked about also as we've worked on the show.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting point. Looking at it, from the character and the actor standpoint. So, wow, very cool. So, you're talking about meeting with challenges. What has been a big challenge for you preparing for this or ready for it? Was there anything that has really stuck out for any of you individually? Let's jump in.
I know for me personally, because I weigh heavily on the film side of things. I did study theater and I've done a lot of theater, but I do film more, and film's a very different animal, because the way we've kind of always put it is like you're performing to an audience of one, and it's very intimate and it's right in your face. Whereas theater, you're talking to the back row, right? And a lot of people almost look at it as like in theater, you're almost a voyeur to something happening, whereas in film, you're there, like you're in it. Or sorry, vice versa. And I think weirdly enough, like for me, I'm a very like quiet speaker. So like my challenge has been just being, more projecting and stuff like that. And I'm trying to find like the cadences of things with like how Roy talks and stuff like that. And sometimes I find it harder to like project that out than to like pull that in and be intimate, And so that's kind of been a lot of my challenges, just making sure I'm still, like they said, like trying to be as honest as I can with like the character and their mannerisms and the way they talk and things like that, while also trying to learn like, okay, here's a good technique for making sure everybody hears me do it as well. And so that's been a little bit of a challenge for myself.
Interesting. And it's interesting. You said you tend to be a little more reserved or a little on the quieter side, because I always looked at Roy Scheider as an actor as kind of a man of fewer words and more of emotion. You could read what he was doing and thinking, and probably more so than you could by whatever he was saying. So
he's his character in general, and just like watching the movie, he says a lot with his eyes. And that's kind of honestly in the show, we've talked about it a lot, where he's a lot more of like bridging the gap between the two, Richard and Robert. So there's a lot of observation of him rather than always being the one to talk. He's very much like observing the room.
Wow. Interesting intake. All right. Anyone else? Anything's been overly challenging or really stuck out?
I think as a director, one of the interesting things about the show is you have a group of characters that are waiting for something to happen. There's almost a waiting for Godot kind of quality. And so finding the dramatic action within that. Now, once you start digging in, you see how rich the text is with these characters' lives. But the thing that they're there to do, which is make this movie, they're not able to do because the shark is broken down so much at the time. And so finding a way to shape that and bring that internal action out and make it clear for the audience it's been a wonderful challenge. I wouldn't, it's not been overwhelming. It's a great puzzle to try to solve as a director, is figuring out how to bring shape to that and bring that out so it is tangible to the audience.
Interesting.
So,
And to do all that in a limited and confined space of being trapped on a boat.
Very much.
Yeah, it's
so.
a tricky show to block. It's tricky to come up with movement because everybody's pretty confined in that tight space.
Sure.
And it's important that space is tight because that's one of the things they're dealing with.
I'll actually add something that's not been a challenge for me in this is working with these two, because I feel like it's been so collaborative, and Todd as a director, like I feel like I have so much trust with these guys, and there's not any point where I haven't felt like we've not had each other's back in some form. And I feel like everyone listens to everyone, probably more than any show I've ever worked on or film, honestly. And it's something I've been incredibly excited to do. Every time, I've never had a rehearsal where I've been like, oh man, I got to go to rehearsal. Like the only thing ever is the drive. But by the time I get there, like I'm having a blast the whole time. And so it's actually been one of the first times I'm excited to like hang out and do this stuff. So.
Very
Oh,
cool.
and I'll second that. And the idea that we are pretty productive and we're pretty focused, but we also get off track a lot because we all really like to talk about movies and acting. and so it'll be like, oh, it's a 5-minute break. I'm like, well, it's been 12 minutes while you all talked about Spider-Man. So can we get back to work? You know? Otherwise, as far as a challenge, I always, as an actor, I always find it challenging whenever I have to do a non-Midwest American accent. So trying to do, the character of Robert Shaw, the human of Robert Shaw, who was, born in England, then moved to Scotland, and then lived in Ireland, but was trained in Shakespeare, and then is pretending to be North Atlantic in this. Like, what the hell does that sound like? And so,
which is completely different all on its own. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
the cool thing is nobody knows what it sounds like, so nobody can tell me I'm doing it wrong. And otherwise, the beautiful and exquisitely enjoyable challenge, other than doing that, is that within the play, the Indianapolis speech is recreated word for word, beat for beat, and so there's no, hey, would you like to interpret this speech differently? No, that won't be acceptable. Can you do it exactly like he does? And that is a totally different challenge than like finding your own, motivations or emotions or whatever. But no, trying to recreate something that is iconic and that people will be like, well, actually, he pauses for 3 seconds after that word. Actually, he lifts his right eyebrow on that word. Like,
Wow.
oh my God. So, it's something I'm really enjoying trying to nail. So it's a challenge, but one that I'm very, very excited and enthusiastic about.
Very cool.
Yeah, and
Alex.
I'll definitely echo what the other guys said. It's just been an absolute blast to work on the process. It's been fantastic to collaborate with everybody. It's been awesome to work with my dad again. A lot of great contributions from Alex. There's so much like trivia about the film that on a pretty daily basis we learn, like, oh, did you know that? Well, like the other day in rehearsal, I misspoke. I said something that wasn't originally how it was written in the script about, I think I said that the studio that produced The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz was Universal, which of course it wasn't. And Alex came up to me afterward and he said, now, that wasn't actually the studio. I'm like, yes. Okay, cool. What was the studio, Alex? And so we had a good conversation about that. But anyway, it's just been a really fantastic process, and it's been awesome to collaborate with everybody. In terms of challenges, honestly, I really think that it has been a pretty breezy process relatively, theater is the collaborative art. And if you don't have great collaborators, then that makes it a lot harder, but we do, but then I would also just say, because this is a show without intermission, it runs shorter than a lot of plays typically do, which is nice. That means we're all pretty much on stage almost the whole time without breaks.
Right.
So, you got to find an opportunity to go get yourself a drink of water and stuff like that.
Sure. Interesting. So, Alex, you have a little bit of a different perspective because your task is to really make sure, you're sticking, I guess, not only to the script, but then also to the movie and facts regarding that. What tends to be a chore for you?
The chore. It's. When we first got started, it was interesting because I was pretty much the only one who knew anything regarding the deep history. It's interesting though, because as these three have really researched their roles, they keep coming up with like little things. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that part of that interview or that book. And I'm just like, wow. So it's been kind of a challenge that way. Also, just as far as set wise, I mean, we've got this guy building a boat, but he's only building half the boat. So you're just going, oh, that's cool. But wait, no, okay, that would be on the other side of the boat. Okay, never mind. We're not building that part. Okay. So it's just one of those kind of things. But yeah, it's I mean, as everybody has said, I mean, it's really been interesting watching these guys just come together collaborative, and I end up learning a thing or two myself, and I'm supposed to be the guy with all the answers. So
we do have Janie. Janie hopped on. She's running a little behind. She's joining us down in their corner. Hello, Janie.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, doing pretty
Yeah.
well.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to come online, but Mr. Migraine had other plans.
Oh, dear.
So yeah, little bastard. Anyway, I just wanted to say, really glad for you guys to be on. This is a good play that's really dear to our hearts. We know that you guys are going to crush it like Quint. No pun intended, or maybe so. I don't know. My question to you is, how big is the theater? How many seats does it hold?
Do you know that?
I think,
wait a minute.
I think we can comfortably seat about 100 folks.
That's good. I was like, we just went from
it's a
Bueller.
little over 100.
Bueller.
I want to say
Yeah, it can be a little more than 100, but it's wherever it is that you're sitting in the theater, you have a good seat. It's an intimate house.
We're doing this on the
It's very
street.
close.
This is a street performance, not.
It's performative dance by
Yeah.
Quint. Okay,
There you
gotcha.
go.
All right, gotcha. I was just curious. I was listening to you guys, and it reminds me because I lived in Florida as much as Mike and Hooper does. I'm a Floridian, and we used to do community theater all the time. And listening to this just brings back so many memories. I heard that you guys are educators, and so was my dad. He was a drama teacher, so this is bringing up really good memories for myself. I mean, I wish we would have had The Shark Was Broken when I was doing community theater. No, I did. Annie, get your gun. So this is. I would like to see this. I hope you send us some pictures so we can really, promote.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. We do have a couple people kind of chiming in as well. We got Victor saying, welcome guests from Kansas. We got Victor from Canada. We got Robert from the UK, who's always with us. Hey, guys. Happy to be here again.
That's the Scottish part.
And there's, What else we got? We got Paula joining in, saying hello, everyone.
Who is
And
it,
we got
Paula?
Paula, I believe it's your sister, right?
Yeah, that's my kid sister. See, she was in Annie Get Your Gun too, so she'll understand.
And there's a question that popped up. It says, "Question for the cast: Has Ian Shaw stopped by in Kansas?" So, has anyone from the original, like, does anyone come in to set you guys up, or is it more of? I'm not sure how it works. You have to purchase the rights to the show, and then you do the show. Like, how does that work? Is there any involvement at all?
There's no required involvement. I know that a member of the staff at the theater had interactions with Guy Masterson, who directed the original production, and helped
Good friend of the
connect
show.
us
Yeah.
to a creative artist that put together projections for production that he was involved with, and is being very helpful for us as well.
He's a good guy. We love
Guy.
Guy.
Yeah.
I have a question. In regards to learning your roles, how hard is it, and what's your process of memorizing all the lines? Do you memorize the entire play? Do you memorize certain sections? Is it a process of just rehearsing over and over and over again, or do you sit with the script and memorize that completely? It's always fascinating to me about especially shows, theatrical shows. I mean, what's your process when it comes to that?
I'm sure everybody has their own ways they do it. The most effective way for me is, especially with the way that Todd has rehearsed this, we would take like a chunk of the show and run it, and then do some things, and run it again, do some things, and then run it again. And honestly, doing it 3 times in a row in a short period of time did a lot of the work for me, like muscle memory built in. And then, yeah, there was still some, like, let me, maybe do a voice memo on my phone of recording my lines and play those back. There's a technique that I'll let Davis share that I learned from Todd, and then it changed Davis's life. So I'll let him talk about that. I use that too. There are a variety of things, but the best is where I don't have to try to memorize it. It just becomes part of you through repetition. And so when that happens, it's a real gift.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's pretty cool. We got another question on here from Jaws Bites, who's joining us as well. He's saying, "What is your favorite lines from the play?" So, what's your favorite line that you have to deliver, or maybe
That's a good question.
maybe it's a favorite action, or maybe favorite scene of your character? What are you holding on to so far? Anything standing out?
I would say probably my favorite scene in the play is there's a scene where Robert has taught Roy and Richard how to play a game called Shove Haypenny, which is a game that we are not familiar with in the States, probably.
Yeah.
But the two characters become very familiar with it because Robert begins to hustle them, and then near the end of that scene, as the three of them have had sort of this fun camaraderie moment, they open up to each other and they talk a little bit about their own histories. And it just feels really human and really real, That is probably the part of the show that to me feels the most like embracing the thesis of what the play is about, which in a lot of ways is about fathers and sons, which for me is interesting because I've, of course, got to work on this play with my own father. And Richard's relationship with his dad is, I think, in a lot of ways really different than my relationship with mine. So... love scene 5.
There you go. All right.
It's a great scene as you see how intimate they are as people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually go back to that last question real quick and be a little Roy here and over-explain something. I for 22 years, my memorization technique has just been doing it over and over and over again until it's in, and sometimes with movement, so you can like put the movements with the words and stuff like that. But there's a technique that I just learned where you basically write out everything you're saying, but you only write the first letter of each word. And then, so you say it out loud, the actual line, then you write it out, first letter of each word, and then you say it, or you read that, and your brain like fills in the rest of the words for each thing. And basically it's like it's creating memory, essentially, is what it's doing. I kid you not, I've learned like monologues doing this within the show for like in like 10 to 20 minutes because of it, which would have normally taken me days. And
I've done it before,
I'm
yeah.
so pissed. I haven't been doing this for 22 years. That these guys were like,
Well,
yeah, that's the way.
Davis, if you would have gone to my
Like,
high
why
school,
not
you would have
know?
learned that a long time ago.
Oh, I was like, oh,
Is that a common technique, or is it
so
something?
Pedro Pascal is who I actually heard it from.
Oh wow!
And this was over like maybe a year ago. I just never did it. And then because I'm in the show and we're on stage all the time, I was like, I need to try something a little different here. So I was like, I'm going to try it. And it was day and night, like for how well it worked. And I was like, I'm never going to do anything different again. Like this is it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I've done that before, and I've had mnemonics to connect one word to the next.
So that was my next question. Do you use mnemonics then for any of that? Of course, that's all I would remember. I would remember like the mnemonic end of it. I would forget all the words in between were. So yeah. Wow, very cool. Right.
I would memorize my parts and whatever the cue word was for me. He says this, and then you do it. So
That's
different process.
Well, and the other process too is a lot of people like to do that with the other actors' lines too, so that they know what people are saying. So if someone forgets a line, you go, well, I don't have to worry about that. I'm moving on to this one.
right.
Because sometimes if you're only memorizing your lines and someone else forgets a line, you're kind of like, oh fuck, where are we? So
You guys find yourselves memorizing the others' lines also? Like you do mind memorize the entire play?
Usually the last line. Like I'll try to memorize as much of their last line as I can so that I know where we're going.
Yep.
The good thing about this one, and the other guys can talk on this too, is I feel like because we're so good at knowing our moments of where we're at in the show, the moments are so well thought out that if we lose a line, we get right back into it because we can find the moment.
See, I didn't have to worry about that. I just had to do curtain call. That's all I had to do. I had to watch everybody else. I was stage manager.
As far as favorite lines go, I don't really have a favorite line, but I have a favorite moment, which is when he first sees the shark after doing the chum, and he's just like,
yes. Michael, you've got to have a favorite line because one thing, no one
other than the Indianapolis
more than Quint, no one gets quoted in that movie. I mean, for God's sakes, so many one-liners there.
Well, in the play, the moment I'm gonna cop out and say it was the same thing that Dane referenced, these speeches and these moments where they share about their fathers. But as far as the lines in Jaws, there are so many to choose from. I mean, I guess what the one I really like, it's very, very simple. I just like when he just says, "Let's drink to our legs." I love that moment with the destroying of the scars. And I also like the unintelligible stuff he says right before that when he's describing the arm wrestling tournament with the Chinese fella in the Oki bar. He's like, "It is kind of grab me in the environment and come from what? What did you say?" But it's so like unhinged drunk. Like I love it. And I think if you watch it with subtitles, it's like they don't know what he's saying either. So that's when watching him in the movie, he's kind of a quote machine in the actual film. Less of a quote machine in the play because it's more about the real person and less about the outlandish character. But.
Yeah.
You are right. At times, he almost because we're often trying to figure out. In fact, someone was asking. There's a few lines you hear him singing when he's out on the pulpit. And in the morning. Here we are 51 years later trying to figure out what he's saying. So when you think about that, it almost puts you in reference of the father in A Christmas Story, swearing and carrying on when the heater would break down or the Oldsmobile gets a flat tire and so.
Purposes.
Yeah.
And the furnace breaking. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yes. Very much.
Butterfinger.
Oh, man, that's.
Not a finger.
Oh God, we go off on the tangent.
I wish I could. I have to bow out for a gig that started at 6. So I got permission to be a little bit. I'm sitting right next to where I have to go, but I
Oh
will
my
have
gosh.
to bow out.
Not a problem.
I can't wait. Is there any? I don't want to steal the spotlight. Is there any other question that I can ask before I go and then see?
We just need to know. Do you need to have like a note to excuse you?
No, I'll send them the link. I'll make them watch. I'm like,
There
see,
you
I
go.
really was.
Please
They're like,
excuse him for his absence. He was trying to be a superhero.
they're like,
Let's
you're
go.
going to be late because you're doing what?
Yeah,
I'm doing a podcast about John. That doesn't sound like a real thing. I'm like, it is. I promise. I
Well,
promise
there
it's
it
real.
is.
So
We will
thank you
totally
so much
vouch
for having me
you.
on.
Break
I
a
can't
leg.
wait to watch. I can't wait to watch the rest of it later. Thank you so much for having me on, and I'll watch the rest of the show later on the link. So thank you so much.
Good
We'll
luck.
be your
Hanging out with
alibi.
us. Appreciate it.
Very nice meeting you.
Aye. Jeez. Interesting. We should have told him that none of us live in our mother's basements either, even though we're Jaws fans. I heard Jaws fans. So just put that out there. It is. I don't know. I guess I want to say it's definitely a smaller world than other movies or movie series fandoms, but it has made a big splash over the last 2 years. It came back with some relevancy. And speaking of relevancy, Jaws itself. I mean, you guys have a big background with the movie, something you're aware of, something you really weren't aware of as you came into this, and it's okay to say no. So, but.
Well, I saw it for the
obviously,
first time when I was
Alex,
9 years old at a drive-in movie theater and thought it
There you
was
go.
just the coolest thing ever. But interestingly enough, I didn't have a chance to see it in a conventional movie theater then for most of my life. And when we started working on this show, I was at an event that Alex was at, and he mentioned, well, tomorrow night they're playing it at the Faro Theater in Independence. And I met Michael while I was there. And as great as it is on TV, if you ever get a chance to see it on a big screen, go do it because it was awesome. My wife and I made it a date night, and the movie may be 50 plus years old, but it's just as riveting and relevant as it was. It's really held up well. And you talk about the fandom, with it being one of, if not the first big blockbuster, a lot of these kind of things that we're talking about, this is the movie that got it started.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
meant
you're
to be
not gonna
seen
hear
on
an
the big
argument from here.
screen. It's meant to be seen on the big screen.
Oh, it's incredible.
I saw it in IMAX. I saw it on the biggest IMAX screen in the country, in the New York City. It was sold out. The crowd loved it. I saw it in Radio City Music Hall in 1997. Peter Benchley was there, and the entire sold-out crowd of Radio City Music Hall knew every line. They laughed at every line. It's a phenomenon. I don't know any other film that does that.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies for sure. When I was younger, I actually liked the second one more. Like a lot,
Wow.
like probably when I was like
You saw
7
that
years
first.
old.
You saw the second one first, I bet,
I
right?
did, yeah. It's
That's
from the
why.
Predator. I saw Predator 2
Totally
first. I loved it. It was my favorite. Now the first one's my favorite. But yeah, my sister and I, we would actually play Jaws she's 4 years older than me, and we would literally be like, all right, we're on the couch, we can't fall off the couch or Jaws is gonna get us. Like that would be like what we played around the house all the time. So it's like I don't know. It was pretty impactful to me just on a level of like being a kid. But getting older and kind of learning how it was made as I got into film and stuff like that was really cool. Just like all the moments you go, this is terrifying. You go, oh, you only did that because the shark sucked. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, but it worked out. Like how it all was filmed and edited and stuff like that. And it was really to the advantage of it. But now kind of getting, it all kind of comes full circle and kind of getting to actually be a part of it in such a way is I don't know, it's kind of extraordinary. So
yeah, I had seen the film when I was a kid. He and my mom showed me the movie when I was a kid, was very affected by it, thought it was fantastic. I'm sure you guys probably sympathize. You see the movie for the first time, and then it's like next time you try to go get in the pool, there's a little bit of hesitance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I really liked the movie as a kid, and then I seen it a couple of times over the last several years. But then in anticipation for auditioning for the show, I watched it again as an adult for the first time since probably high school. And I was just really struck by how well the film holds up, like even by 2026 standards of filmmaking. Not only beat for beat is it, I mean, Spielberg is obviously a master, but it's so captivating, and they do really clever things with character development in ways that aren't obvious. Certainly not to a 9-year-old, but I think that it's a lovely film and an exciting film and an awesome film. So
very cool.
It's a timeless. That's why they call it timeless.
Well, it taps into something. Yeah. It taps into something primal.
Absolutely.
That where we're in the position of being dinner for some creature, right? And it's very real. It's not some concocted monster. I mean, it's just a particularly big shark, and that can really happen. So
it can really happen, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's often stated that the shark is not the villain. The shark is just simply doing what sharks do, and the villains happen to be
shark's not the villain. The shark's a good guy.
So
exactly. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Nate, but if I don't say it, I'll forget it. That's why they're at the billboard, and he tells Mayor Vaughn, "Look, all this thing does is swim and eat and make little sharks, and that's all."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they were, that's very true.
It's funny.
I think that's a fun exchange in the play whenever they talk about how, if years from now humans have gone extinct and sharks are still around, if they were to watch the movie, they would think it was a tragedy.
Yeah, it's a great tragedy. Oh,
yeah, Val, it's funny that you said the shark's the good guy in the movie, because I was showing Todd yesterday. So back 15 years ago, people used to make fake trailers. They would re-edit trailers to be different genres. And they took Jaws and made it like a Free Willy type movie where Robert Shaw's the villain. It's called Must Love Jaws. It's the funniest thing. It's so funny.
Yeah, the shark's just eating, man. I mean, he's doing his thing, and then these people are trying to kill him, blow it up.
Yeah, he's like, "What are you doing, dude?"
He's just sharking. That's
I'm
it.
just coming to the buffet.
Yeah.
No, I saw the theater. Everybody clapped when he exploded. Everybody clapped. I'm like, "What are you clapping for? Look at the shark. What do you do to everybody?"
He was sharking.
Yeah, shark is sharking. That's it. Yeah, Victor with Jaws.
So I knew somebody would chime in and agree with you with Jaws too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, we have a handful. We even have people that prefer like 3 and or 4. Because that's the first one that they saw
first. 3 was the one I saw first.
3, I like 3. I like 3.
It's so ridiculous. But 2 was actually the scariest one to me, because I think it was because they were kids. So I felt like you know what I mean? Like I was a little more related to it being younger. And then, 1, it's just awesome. But
I just saw something on TikTok that, you talk about 3, and, there's that scene where they go and they find Oberman's body, and there's a sign that says no trespassing. That sign is still there, and they put on their original prop, Jaws 3D.
That's awesome.
It's still there at SeaWorld. And if you take the tour, you can go back there and see some of the stuff.
That's funny.
And they continue to carry. I mean, typically in our crowd, people mostly talk about Jaws and Jaws 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But just in recent years, you're getting these rumblings, and you're getting pages dedicated to Jaws 3D and to Jaws: The Revenge, which is interesting. In fact, there's a documentary coming out.
Yes, there is.
About Jaws: The Revenge. And,
I think Jaws: The Revenge has gotten the biggest cult status of
very much so
of the bad ones, more than Jaws 3. Jaws 4 has gotten some fierce defenders. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
I've never heard a roaring shark before, but that definitely was my favorite part.
I mean, that's the name of the documentary.
That's the name of the documentary, yeah.
It's called The Shark That Roared.
The Shark That Roared. And Kevin Smith is backing it up, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kevin Smith.
It has gotten serious, but
his infinite humor.
Yeah. So, Alex, we've heard nothing from you talking about Jaws related. You have got to be the biggest Jaws fan in here. This is what you're doing. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's hear some Jaws stuff.
Oh man. Well, let's see. Okay, I've kind of go back over some other stuff. One of my favorite scenes out of Jaws and I will analyze this thing to the point of where my girlfriend leaves the room. But I've always been a huge fan of when
We're all
you
card-carrying
first.
members. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, we all do that. All of our wives, everyone leaves. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but my gosh.
That's why I'm single. So.
Yeah, yeah, it probably is why I've been single for so long. But anyway, but no, it's like when you first that opening scene where you meet the Brodies, and it's like, why is the sun coming in here? It's like, oh well, we bought the house in the fall. This is summer. You learn everything you need to know about them within the course of like 3 minutes. I'm just like,
true.
Gottlieb was a freaking genius in this scene. I'm just like,
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You know, thankfully the film improved on the book. I mean, the book is good, but the film took all the great aspects of the book and brought them front and center, and it definitely improved the relationship between Brody and his wife.
Yeah,
that they have a very, very, very different relationship in the book.
Book, sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's it's a definite improvement in the film across the board.
Yeah, the only likable character is the shark, really.
Yeah,
exactly.
Much, yeah,
the shark, the shark and shark.
Yeah.
That actually, you saying that the only likable character is the shark. Spielberg made an observation about that at some point that kind of got he and Benchley at odds with each other.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Benchley, he tried a couple of drafts at the screenplay and they weren't happy with it. And when he gave the notes to Carl Gottlieb, his note was eviscerated. The book when he to make it more accessible, I guess, to audiences. I mean, I don't know if you guys have read the book, but there's a lot of stuff in the book that's just it's out there. Mafia and Brody's not such a likable character. I mean, thankfully, it's based on the movie, and I mean, it's a great play. The Shark is Broken is a terrific play, and you guys, I'm sure you're going to do it proud for sure.
Thank you.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Sure you will.
Absolutely.
Somebody tape it. I want to see it. Somebody tape it and put it on.
Oh yeah, send us like a little video. And,
yeah,
we'll put it on the pages, won't you, Nate?
Oh, absolutely, sure.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, seriously.
A pirated video of their plate, no problem. We'll put it all across all the
I'll
pages.
just walk around like this.
God, fine.
Zuckerberg himself will write me a get out of jail free card for that one, I'm sure. Yeah.
Just make sure they're good pictures and everybody's dressed. That's all I ask.
So Davis, in the Broadway play, there's a pretty impressive scene where here he goes. He knows.
I know what you're talking about.
Roy Scheider is suntanning in his Speedo.
Exactly.
I mean,
hey,
are you doing that?
Listen, I voted for the Speedo. We're going with shirtless. So
I mean, it was seeing that in Broadway. My wife next to me was like, "Oh my, boy, that guy." I was like, I mean, I fucking hate you, man. I gotta go back to me. And this guy in his the perfect body. And I'm like, so you do shirtless? Okay. I mean, I think some productions don't even do shirtless. I think they change it up, but. That was pretty impressive.
I can't imagine someone tanning in their shirt.
Exactly. That makes sense.
I'm Donald Ducking it. I'm just shirtless, no pants. Or shirt, no pants.
That's what they did.
Keeping my legs. Yeah.
Have you gotten used to the cigarette smoking, or do you not physically light it up?
So we're doing no smoke in the actual theater. So we've got the cut their theater cigarettes. So they have chalk in them that kind of like gets the illusion of like
a puff kind
like those bubblegum things we had as kids, and you used to chew one of those bubblegums, the bubblegum cigarettes. Remember those?
Candy cigarettes.
Oh,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Blow it out.
I wanted to ask Mike if it was Ice-T or if he was very strict to the original play, and before he does the Indianapolis speech, if he has a couple sips of Irish whiskey before he gets on and does that, because I'm sure that's what happened during the production. He shot it, had a little too much to drink, had to go back reshoot it the next day. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah. We had a nice shot of Lagavulin, or how do you say the Scotch?
Lagavulin, yeah.
Lagavulin, yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday we finally, because obviously they drink Lagavulin in the show and they talk about it at length. And I'd never had it before. So yesterday I was like, hey, we got a little bit left in this bottle. We need to empty it because we have to use it for the show. So, maybe let's just try a little bit of it. And we tried a little bit of the Lagavulin with different results for each of the three.
It was a nice little Marty McFly moment.
That's pretty funny. So are you guys like pretty much done rehearsing, or you still got more to do? You pretty much nailed it already? You're still tweaking?
We have a few rehearsals left while we're working in some technical elements. Their performances are ready to go, but I'm sure they'll continue to grow over the last couple of rehearsals because we open a week from today.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Awesome. Well, very cool,
I
guys.
have a question real quick.
Go ahead. Absolutely. Jump in.
So you asked them about their favorite. What was, for our team, what was your favorite scene in the play when you saw it? I already know mine because it made me tear up.
Well, I mean, obviously the Indianapolis speech, which closes it out, is great, but I think the interactions between Dreyfus and Shaw, like they're fighting and not fighting, and all those scenes were pretty cool. Plus the Speedo scene there, Davis.
Okay, that's enough of the Speedo. We got it. You didn't.
Yeah, that's
like
reason
it,
number 2 why no one's taping that show for you. We're just putting that out there.
I tried putting on a Speedo for my wife, and she's like, "No, it ain't working."
Oh God! I still have to eat dinner. Okay,
Davis.
Nate, what about you?
Davis. Restraining order. Just saying that.
We're doing a live blur. I'm doing cellophane.
There's cellophane. There we went from the Sharkisburg. We went from Amity to Chicago. Hell.
I think my favorite scene is the Hay Penny scene. Because it's honestly, it's the most, we probably worked on it the most because of how many little lines there are back and forth. That were like, there's like an, okay, we'll kind of like banter a lot. But I feel like the camaraderie and the banter has really grown to something that we've been really enjoying during it. And then the way it falls kind of into those really intimate monologues is really nice. And I just love the variety within that scene.
That's a good scene too. Yeah, it really is.
I agree that scene 5 is a great scene, and there are a number of excellent scenes throughout the show. But one I want to give a shout out to real quickly is in scene 8, when Shaw does Shakespeare's sonnet number 29. It's very effective after Dreyfus has had his breakdown.
That's the one I was.
I like the fact that all 3 of the actors in the show are able to create these really nice arcs for the characters, and of course there is this antagonism between Shaw and Dreyfus throughout the play. And in that moment of the show, we see that bridged. We see them come together. And I think that's just a really nice thing that's worked into the script.
I agree with that because you got to see vulnerability at its best, I believe. And it was very touching that even as much as they had argued and fought and this, that, and the other, there was some respect at that time.
Yeah.
And that's what got me. I agree with that.
Mike Smith, are you going to the show, Mike? Are you going to the show?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It's like,
Bring that camera and just tape some of it.
There's only one guy that he wants, so it's like.
When you take off that shirt, you better have a tattoo that says "I love Val."
That's it.
Yeah.
In Speedo.
Yeah. Oh wait, how'd you get your tattoo? You were supposed to talk about the Ian Shaw.
Oh yeah.
You want to hear about? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
This is a good story.
I long story. I got a tattoo of the orca in the water and the barrels on the back of my leg after a bad bike accident, and we went to see it at Broadway. And it was myself and my wife and my son, and we got out, and we were afterwards had met and were talking to Ian and the cast members, and he happened to see my tattoo in the back of my leg, and he said, "Oh wow!" He said, "Is that the orca?" I said, "Oh yeah." He commented, "Wow, he's really good looking," and he was signing things for everyone. And I spur of the moment, I said, "How about you sign the back of? Would you sign the back of my leg under the tattoo?" And he said, "Yeah, you know what? I will." He said, "Okay." And so he stooped down and He's like, okay, I'm really going to try and do a good signature. And he signed it with a Sharpie. And it was great. I thanked him, profusely. We left, and I proceeded to walk around New York City at 11:30 at night trying to find a tattoo parlor that was open and one that didn't look like I was going to get hepatitis C from. And I managed to track one down, and a nice little German girl that opened up everything right in front of me, tattooed his Sharpie signature, so it's on the bottom of my
Let's see it.
tattoo. So,
That's awesome.
Let's see it.
Choice
in the
of
book. It's in the book.
I gotta stand.
In the book.
I gotta stand up and turn backwards in a chair for you to see it. All right,
Hey,
all
this
right.
is a
I'll show.
podcast.
Why
This
not?
is a
Make sure
podcast.
you're having
He's not
pants
wearing
on.
pants.
That's right.
You're in a speedo.
There you go.
Take your
You're gonna be
speedo
in a
off.
speedo,
This
so
is
I'll
not
show
the
it
first
to you.
time
Here
he's
we go.
done
There
this.
you go. Ready?
Okay. Yeah,
Let's see.
So there's the leg. Can you
Nice.
see it?
a
Yeah.
little higher.
There's the
Hey,
leg.
there you
Oh
go.
wow, there it is.
Awesome.
There you
That's
go.
cool.
Wow, very cool, Nate.
I drink to your leg.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, SSE and Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drink
Very
to your
cool.
top.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, we want to thank you an awful lot for coming on and spending some time with us and giving us a
Great.
little bit of insight, because I can't speak for these guys. Some of these guys have background. I have zero background in this kind of thing, so it's always interesting to kind of see proverbially how the sausage is made, what goes into it, your take and your insight on things. And so it's been a nice kind of eye opener for me, as well as the people that have been watching and chiming in. So really, really impressed, and really wish you guys well with this. As a matter of fact, I would like to pull up, put it up here on the page for everyone
Break a
to
leg.
see.
Thank you.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Actually-
Thank you very much.
absolutely.
Actually, break a fin.
Oh wow, check that out. That's
And
great.
there's even the iconic shot. I mean,
shit.
that
That's a
turned
good
out
shot.
pretty good. I really like. Yeah, so looks good. You guys definitely looked the
Wow.
part, and
Look at
Good.
Great.
I'm sure we definitely will be acting the part as well. So
Mm-hmm.
here we. Let me get that out of there.
What is that?
Hold on. Do I have the right page up? I
No,
have the wrong page up.
we're
Let me
talking
try
about.
that again.
Try it again.
There we go. So here we go. So Metropolitan Ensemble Theater
Wow.
is where you're going to be able to see these guys, and
Look at them
they're
sitting there in
going
the
to be
cabin. That's cool.
they're going to be doing shows from the 13th through the 23rd. So more or less just about every night, I would assume. Is that right, guys?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, we'll have performances Thursday, Friday. We'll do 2 on Saturday and then 1 on Sunday the first weekend, and then we'll repeat that the second weekend.
Hmm.
Very
So we will take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be dark on those
Okay.
dates.
Mm.
Okay.
I think it's an hour and a half long, the show, if anybody was wondering, right? It's about an hour and 30 minutes.
No,
Yeah.
it's not long
Sure.
at all. It's not long at all, but there's
Yeah.
it's
It
packed.
flies by.
It's
Flies
packed.
by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Which is kind
And
of
a great-
disappointing because you want it to keep going on, but yeah.
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 Yep.
And obviously, if you're a Jaws fan, definitely need to get out and see it. Even if you're not a Jaws fan, it's just a great show and a great production.
There are no
can't
such people that are that aren't Jaws fans. No such
So many people.
What are you talking about? There's no such thing.
I mean,
You're
so
not
many people that we.
on the show.
Yeah.
I actually just started a new job because I'm in the medical field, and I just started at a new office 2 weeks ago. And there is some of the staff is half my age. Gee, thanks a lot. Anyway, they love this movie, and I told them today that you guys were going to be on. They're like, right straight to Google. Right straight to Google they go. They want to know about the play. You got another generation coming at us. So, everybody loves Jaws. That's it.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, guys. I'm sure you're
Yes.
gonna kick ass. I'm sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Hey, yeah, we got a bunch of people chiming in saying love it. All the best to you guys. Yeah, definitely. And we go. And
I would go if I was
and-
closer. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So we wish you guys the best of luck. And again, thank you very much for your time this evening, coming on and
thanks for
spending
having us
time
on.
and hanging out with us. And we have a little thing that we do. I actually have a promo, and I'll shoot the promo here as soon as we're done. I'll let the promo run. But we have a little thing that we do here, and we don't say goodbye. We do a little bit of fins up So if you guys don't mind, this will be your 15-second moment.
Continued success, people. Continued success to all of you.
Yes, absolutely. And we're gonna let Quint take us out as
Yep.
we always do, and we want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight, and thank you for joining in. And again, luck to you guys at the Cath.
Thanks,
but
guys.
Honestly, it sounds like you're gonna have a great time.
Great show.
So,
Thank you.
Yep. Break a leg and a
All right.
fin.
Absolutely.
Fins up.
All right. Here we go.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.
Cheers,
Good night,
guys.
everybody.
Cheers.
Good night.